And we're recording. Good evening. I almost said good morning to Living Fit Tribe. I have no idea what day it is. I thought it was Saturday this morning. It's not. It's Monday, in case everyone was wondering. So if there's anybody new on the call or watching the recording, my name is Lacey. I've been on this team going on 3 years this fall. I looked it up the other day finally. I joined around the time Shift Shop came out, and hit goodness gracious, hit Diamond June of last year. The week, what was that, 2 days before the wedding? 3 days? It was like we were leaving for the venue and I got notification that we had hit Diamond, so that was pretty cool. But I wanted to come talk to you guys about building your niche and how to expand into it. So Ashley's on, she's in my crew. I run a crew called Cattle and Cardio. I decided very early on that I wanted to do this as a business and that I was going to have to grow my own. So I dubbed and started creating my own baby team. For the first year, I just dumped everyone into this group and kind of let it do its thing until I got my footwork under me. And now we're kind of offshooting and doing our own little mini group, which is awesome because my crew, we were joking before we hit record, I'm doing Ultimate Reset and it's vegetarian, and my whole crew was like freaking out because they're all like cattle ranchers and farmers and agronomists and stuff across the US. So I've stuck to my market pretty close. But everyone's got kind of a niche, but we always struggle to find it, it seems like. Mine was pretty blatantly obvious. We live and breathe cows here. So I ran with it, and I'm an active and avid runner. But I've talked before on other calls about kind of how to find your roles. I know I've worked with Lindsay on it, on doing the web. So you put yourself in the middle and then you start doing kind of web off of your different roles. And there's a whole bunch of ways to find your different roles and things. But I've recently started working on it to find how to expand my network. So once we kind of have your roles, so for me, it's usually, farm, ranch, runner. I've added bikini competitor to that, wife, daughter, friend, analyst, IT. Those are kind of my roles in life. But now I've started looking at what are my interests in life. So I wanted to walk you guys through kind of what I've been doing over the last few months, which seems to be working. I've hit Success Club now February, March, April, so 14 months in a row, even though they don't count one of the months because I had an issue with my PV and I'm not happy about it, but whatever, it's fine, it's all fine. So if you have a piece of paper and a pen, you can do it, or if you're watching it, whatever, you can do it later. So what we're gonna do is, first I want you to write down 5 things that you can't live without. Like if you think about your day, what are 5 things? And not Beachbody related, so you can't put Energize, because that does you no good. You're not going to recruit new people that already use Energize. So write your 5 things down. So for me, 5 things I absolutely cannot live without. And I did more than 5. Coffee, which is why this Ultimate Reset is absolute hell for me the first 5 days, because I drink a pot a day. You guys didn't want to be around me during the migraine phase. That was great. So I have coffee, my cell phone. Prior to even working this business, my cell phone has been an extension of my arm since basically the Nokia was Snake. Running, Hulu. I am a reality TV junkie. Beef, music, dogs, and my husband. So I wrote a bunch down, but write 5 or so down. So you can either do this in a list, or I use my web theory. This is like my favorite way of doing anything. So this is kind of where I started with it. So now if you take out of your circle, let's take one thing, and we're going to dive into the one thing. So I'm going to take music as my one thing to focus on right now. So I have a whole bunch of things around music. I have some of my favorite bands. And then off of the bands, I have my favorite songs for them written down. I have genres. I have that I played piano. I played the drums. All sorts of things that have to do with music. My favorite venues to see it at, the bars I like to go to listen to it, live music, especially acoustic. So you're kind of see how you're branching out on what that topic is. So I always do the where, who, how, and when on my like things I like. So for live music, I picked Red Dirt is a type of genre of music I like. John Wolf is my favorite Red Dirt artist. Casey Donahue's right up there with them. I have to say both, or one of them will hear this someday. And so then I list off some of my favorite songs from them. And then I think about if I were to go see them, where would I go see them? And I've wrote down some of my favorite venues we've been to. And then what do I wear when I go there? So I typically have on Ariat shirt or jeans. I've got cinched jeans on, a Stetson hat, my Justin boots, my Dan Post boots. What am I wearing when I go see them? So now you've got where you're going, what you're wearing, what you're listening to based off of this. So now I'll go search on Instagram for those things and hashtags related to them. I'll go look up the venue. So looking up the hashtag for the venue, and you'll find people who have been to that venue. Clearly you have something in common if you've all been there. I'll go look at, I'll tag or look at people who have tagged cinch clothes. If they're wearing the jeans that I wear, we've got something in common if they're wearing the same style jeans, because you all know no jeans wear the same on everybody. And so that's a great way to find people that are probably facing the same fitness struggles as you because you're wearing the same jeans. Stetson hats, the saloons I've been to, Spotify playlists, if you find those, big booty. Yeah, hey, I live the life of like the quad that's bigger than the waist. And so jeans are hell. Yeah, it's a nightmare. And then like stupid long legs. Like who has a 34-inch inseam? No one. Me. It's dumb. And then you had cowboy boots and it's 35 and you're weird. Anywho, so you look up the hashtag to your favorite song by the artist. A great one, think of your first dance at your wedding or with your significant other. Find that song, hashtag it, go look up that hashtag. Those are your people. Because how long did you think about before you picked that song? We fought for weeks. Like there were rock, paper, scissors wars. There were all sorts of things that went down in this house over the first dance. I won. Ha. Always win. So you're kind of finding those people that are outside of, and no offense, dog mom is like the hashtag from hell to me. And I even use it sometimes. But like dog mom, everyone who owns a dog is a dog mom. Great. But if you own like a Pekingese, I probably have nothing in common with you. I've got 3 cow dogs that are rough and tough and ding dong dipshits half the time. So like you want to find the ones you're related to, not just these overbearing, overbroad niches that you're looking for. So once you start finding hashtags related, go to those people's profile. Now, scroll down 5 or 6 pictures. What are they using for a hashtag? Now you've found new hashtags that you probably didn't think of, because if you've ever realized that network marketing has like taken over anything that's like top knot, farm life, mom life, girl, boy, mom, busy mom, what are actual people using for hashtags is always what I'm after, like real life digging in. So I wrote down one of the ones I went through today. And I did hashtag boots on a dance floor, which is our song from John Wolf. It took me to a girl's profile that, hold on, she was like the perfect example. It fell into my lap. So I went to this girl's profile from it. Her like little blurb at the top said, Jesus lover, ER nurse, farmer's daughter, wild child, gypsy soul dreamer, rebel heart. Boom. That is literally my people. Other than the fact she put Husker fan, but we'll get over it eventually. So I followed her, liked a couple pictures, and I was out of there. But on her pictures, she had some really cool hashtags. She had follow your bliss. She had concert junkie. She used happy girls are the prettiest. Those are ones I wouldn't have thought of. And when I went to look at those hashtags, it opened up a whole new realm of people that were like her, who are who I'm looking for. And so by going out, I don't waste time To each your own. Some people love to start conversations and comment on pictures and build that. I ain't got time. I go out, I like 3 and I'm out. I follow, I like, and I'm gone. But what I do is I keep track of what hashtags I kind of hunted down each day. So if I used that one today, I will make sure that in my stories over the next probably day or two, usually 2 days, I use whatever that hashtag I originally searched with in my stories. So if it was a song lyric, I'll be using a John Wolfe song for my workout in 2 days, because that's about the time that the new people start following back. And that's what they were after. So I don't want to go searching for people based on a red dirt country hashtag and then use Shinedown, which is also one of my favorite bands, in 2 days, because they're going to go to my stories and be like, I like country music. I don't listen to rock music. But if I search by Shinedown lyrics in 2 days and I play a Shinedown song, they're going to connect more into my stories and want to come back. So it's kind of keeping a running tally of what you're talking about and what you're searching for, because we all have multiple niches. I don't just talk cattle. I talk nutrition, I talk fitness, I talk music, but I want to search and kind of keep that wave of topics going. And it helps build the relationships naturally without you having to spend a ton of time pouring into it. So if I'm talking on my list of things, Hulu, and I have got Hulu, and then I list out a couple of my favorite shows. I've been hardcore 60 days in lately. So then I've got hashtags coming off of it around 60 days in and prison, and which has been a little sketchy searching, but you know, you do what you got to do. But it leads into like cops and all sorts of things, crime series, crime junkies, crime podcasts. And so I go about it that way. Well, then I'll make sure in probably Wednesday to just show that I'm watching 60 days in while I'm working at my computer. Like, oh, I get to work my biz and watch 60 days in. So anybody that I followed from that is going to see that show that we have in common, and they're going to come back and be in my stories more often. So I've been doing this for probably 2 months now, and I've seen a huge increase in follow back, and I've seen a huge increase in my stories. Not necessarily always in, and I've always kind of followed this, I just never really kept up with it as much. But what I'm seeing is people coming back. So maybe they're not ready to get on right away, and I don't send a ton of messages out, but what happens is they keep watching me while they're trying other things. So a couple of my customers from last month, I had talked to this one girl, I'm not kidding you, 6 times. She's gone through It Works, she's gone through keto, she's gone through Weight Watchers, and she just messaged me to do the boxing program. So, and they always come back with the same thing. I just feel like I relate to you more. Well, yeah, you do, because I totally hunted you down and we relate. So there's that. But you kind of just have to go, instead of looking at your roles, which can be difficult, especially if you don't know what your niche market is, or you just feel like you don't even have a niche market, you have interests, and interests lead to connections. Like I could sit and talk about any of the things on here like all day long. Coffee, bring it on. Let's chit chat about coffee. Running, that can go as far as races we've run together. That's a great one. I've looked up venues I've run at, states I've run in, running clubs, shoes I like, things like that. I am a stalker of the Couch to 5K hashtag. I don't use it, but I hunt it. And then remember, when you find those hashtags off of other people's, keep it kind of like a note going with it. Use those on your pictures so that those people are seeing those and connecting with you more. You'll see a huge jump in increase. It's been kind of crazy to watch it go through, but yeah. But Steph, not a runner as a hashtag, is actually a very popular runner. One of the bigger ones is hashtag running when chased. I hunt those people too. But that's kind of all I got. I hope it was helpful, that it kind of gives you something. I know it can be overwhelming when you're trying to find your niche or you're trying to figure out how to grow. And that was really frustrating for me for a long time, is, I knew I had cattle, but that's, you know, very specific. And I got made fun of more than not in the barns from that, but it was finding the other things to go after. And so down to the most mundane things, you guys would be, it's crazy. Arctic, we use Arctic like coolers and cups. I've searched them and then made sure to have Arctic in my stories, and I've gotten people following, and they'll comment on your stories all the time. So it's whatever your favorite brands are, music, foods. Be surprised how people bond over food, restaurants. So that's what I got for you. What do you got for me?
I love that. So, okay, I just want to say really quick that, like, one, I love all of those tips. Like, what are the things throughout your day you can't live without? So smart. I never thought of it that way before. And like you said, you can use the web to like break down points even more. But what I want everyone to remember is that, like, you already have a market of people to talk to and invite, but you want to continue to expand your network as you go. So this is a really great thing to start incorporating into your day so that you start meeting more people who are like you and like the same things as you. Love this call, Lacey. That was so good. What questions
Yeah,
do you have?
I started out, and Julianne, we talked about it, I think, on a call last week. My warm market was really, really hard. It's very, very skeptical. Remains very, very skeptical. But we're getting there. We're breaking down the door. So for me, I had to expand. I mean, I ran circles and circles and circles and circles, and I was getting nowhere locally. And so I said, to hell with it, and just started looking elsewhere. And so this is a way that just keep growing. Even if this is one time a week, like on Monday, you decide to focus on something and go add, then the rest of the week, you can just keep adding that thing back up into your stories. You can incorporate it in a post. It's just a way to feel more comfortable. One of the things I told my coaches was, when you talk about something you already know and you're passionate about, you come off so much more confident because you already know it. You already know, I already know about Australian Shepherds. So when I talk about them, I love them and I'm super passionate about them. And so people connect with that, versus if I'm feeling a little bit intimidated or like inviting is hard for you and it's just a little bit of a fear, it's hard to get over. But if you can go out and you are just bold and badass with something you already know, they'll come in and they'll listen about everything else. You just got to get out there. Yeah, it wasn't even the inviting. I invited a ton of people I knew. They just flat out said no because they cray cray. But it's fun because now I get to watch them crawl back.
Did everybody come up with a couple of ideas? If you do, like, put them in the chat. Let's talk about it a little bit. I think that
yeah, if you need help with any of them, let me know. This has become kind of a fun art form at this point.
Maddox wants to say hi.
Hi, Maddox. Hi, bud.
Okay.
Yeah, the jeans. Jeans is a big one. So boots. So if you wear cowboy boots at all, you know your brand, you know it, and you live by it. And so that's been a big one for me. Like, I swear by Dan Post boots. So I talk about Dan Post boots a lot. I don't like Tony Lamas. Josh swears by Tony Lamas. Also turns out we have way too many pairs of all of them. Yeah, German short-haired dog, like, that following is sick. My brother is a junkie. You should go to his page and look up all the hashtags. There's like 50 hashtags for German short hairs. I don't know where he gets half of them. Ashley, yeah, so that's what, so getting more comfortable. And if you're more comfortable with Facebook, feel free to use that as kind of your starting point. You know your people on Facebook a little closer, so it's easier. But posting, for me, like a lot of my posts don't necessarily go straight to fitness. Most of my posts are something to do with something else entirely. And they get engaged. So they want to see more and they'll keep coming back. Expanding your network on Facebook, I'm a little weird on because I don't. My Facebook is generally people I know, more of the cattle industry, and I've left it that way just because that market for me has been so hard, and I don't want to get away from chiseling away at it. So I'm not giving up on the inner circle of Facebook. I'm still hacking away, and I'm convinced eventually they'll cave and just join. I did start a business page. I just don't work at expanding it as much. Instagram's just been a little bit easier for me. I like that it's a picture. Pictures capture interest. And so it's hard. I'm not real wordy. I don't put a ton on my posts. To me, and you're attracting yourself, right? Like you're working to build a team of people that you would generally get along with, want to hang out with. And to me, if you write like 7 scrolls, I made it to the first one and I'm out skis. I ain't got time. And so that works because then the people I'm recruiting typically are the same. They want like 2 sentences and I'm done. And that's why I like Instagram, whereas Facebook tends to get like wordy. But as far as Facebook adding, what I have done is when we go to an event or like you go to the going pages, I'll add people that I meet at different things because I've met you and now we can kind of go about it that way. Or through the cattle business, I've kind of added, but I can't quite get to that point in Facebook yet. There's way too many history pictures on there for people to be looking up that I don't need. Don't go looking them up now that you know about them either.
Can we all please just spam Lacey later with the best pictures we can find her? Just team page, Living Fit Tribe, just.
There's some doozies out there, let me tell you. Okay. Steph said Papermate gel pens. Okay, so think Papermate gel pens. You got the brand, but is it like pens in general? Like I'm a pen junkie. My best friend, if she gets in like the pen aisle at a Staples, we ain't getting her out. Like she goes goo over all of the things. And so like I've looked up hashtag Papermate. Go there, find someone, go find out what they're hashing, because clearly they're doing something. So that would be a good one. So question, you're saying people will be publicly offended if you call your kids wild Indians. Aren't those your people? The people that use that hashtag are your people then, because they're not offended by it. Just saying. I'll tell you all a quick story about wild Indians. So my brother is half Native American, and we went to his reservation for his naming ceremony after he got back from his first tour in the Marines. And he was adopted. I was adopted. We were all adopted. Backstory. So, so we go there. This was just like 3 years ago, and we get there the day early. It is totally the stereotype that you think of on a reservation, like craziness. And they have this like burnout going on in town where people bring their crappy cars down and they see who can do the longest burnouts. This is an event. So you have all these people and like beer vendors, and this is what's happening. But the kids are all just like running amok. Like they're everywhere. We're how a blown tire didn't hit when nobody knows. And my brother is standing there and he goes, "It's like a bunch of effing wild Indians up in here." And my mom like dropped to the ground in tears laughing. So my mom and my brother would be your people, Steph. Like, he said it. I was like, "Oh, you can't say that." He's like, "Yes, I can. You met them yesterday." And don't worry, if you get reported to Instagram, they let you out eventually. When was that? 3 months ago I got reported. They shut me down. They shut down my ability to message. I called out some vegans on my hashtags, and that made them angry. I have no fear of them.
I was following some breastfeeding hashtag or something like that. And all of a sudden, like in my news feed on Instagram, this hashtag pops up, and it popped up about cattle or I don't know, livestock of some sort that they were, it must have been dairy cattle, because all of a sudden the PETA people had just come and like onto this hashtag, and I'm like, dude, I followed this for breastfeeding, not for PETA people and all of you egg people taking over whatever is happening right here. Like, what is going on? I just was trying to be like connecting with breastfeeding moms because that's what I'm doing. Nowhere did I want any of whatever this was. I mean, which like I didn't care because the post was about. Dude, I don't know where your favorite clothes went. Can you quit? Oh my god, I don't have time for this.
Lauren, I literally talked about one of my meals the other day on my stories and put the hashtag not sustainable underneath of it. Like on the story. It's like, it's delicious. It'd be better with steak on it. I had the red pepper and sweet potato bisque tonight. And I looked at Josh, I said, this would be delicious with bacon. Yeah, Limbs, I'm on it already, don't worry. I'm trying to tweak the recipe to make it with bacon. It's very good. So yeah, in the other kind of one of the things I am known to do is go to some of our competitors, like keto, things like that. Go find one of their big wigs and then go look at the people who have liked it or commented, because they are clearly after wellness and they ain't gonna find it. So I got a lot of those too. Just as a warning. All right, what you got? I have to go breed cows yet tonight, so I'm just avoiding that at this point. I told him to go get him in the chute. Nothing?